When it comes to setting goals for the new year, what percentage of people do you think have followed through on the goals they set at the end of January, 30 days after they started? The reality is less than 1 in 4. But why is it when we set goals that we're determined to achieve, that we're passionate about, why is it that so many of us don't follow through? I remember when I was a teenager and I was really into sport and I was never as fit as the other kids were. And every January I used to set this goal that I was gonna really get better at running. And I'd get up on January the 1st and often a bit sort of overfed from the Christmas period. And I'd just be determined and I'd run hard and I'd do it for 2, 3, sometimes 4 days. And then a morning would come and my body would hurt, be drained, I'd be tired, school had started and I needed to get up even earlier, and then I didn't follow through. But why? I wanted the outcome, I wanted the goal. The problem was I was designing and setting goals in a way that was guaranteeing failure. I then, years later, came across a methodology for setting goals, which is really the science of goal setting, which not only meant that I became more successful in the goals that I set, but also each time I set goals and I achieved them, I built a sense of self-worth as someone that if I decide that I'm going to do something, I'm going to be able to follow through. I'm going to be able to be successful in doing it. This model is very simple. It's a model of SMART goals. The first thing is we need to be specific. My goal would have been, I want to get fit, but there wasn't any real clear specificity of what that actually meant. It was just, I'm going to go for a run, and then I'd sort of run out of steam doing it. If I'd been specific in terms of, I'm going to run maybe 3 or 4 mornings a week, then I would have had clarity that I'd already felt I'd achieved my goal after 3 or 4 days, not this endless, impossible mountain that I was trying to climb. The second thing is our goal needs to be measurable. We need to know when we've achieved. We need to see the progress that we're making towards the goal that we're trying to make happen. The goal also needs to be achievable. There's so much talk in self-development circles around setting big and ambitious goals. The problem is that when the goal's too big, it feels overwhelming, but also it's so long to get a point of feeling like we've achieved something. And then we lose motivation, we lose a sense of drive because it just feels too far away. Like the goal is I want to write a book, for example. It's big. But if the goal is I'm going to plan the chapters of the book, or I'm going to write the first part of the first chapter, that goal feels achievable. And then we build momentum. Also, the goals need to be responsible and respectful of the other people and the other priorities in our lives. Sometimes when we set goals that are so ambitious in terms of our fitness or our career, but what happens is that we have to negate the other areas of our life. We become in conflict with our friends and family because we've got to leave at 5 o'clock in the morning to go to the gym and we're not there for our children, for the people that we love. We hit resistance. The more we can design our goals in a way that are in harmony and are in balance with the other priorities, the other things that matter in our life, the more that we find that we have support from those things rather than conflict. Then ultimately our goal needs to be towards what's the outcome we're moving towards rather than just something we're moving away from. Our goal might be, I don't want to be in pain anymore. Might be emotional pain, might be physical pain. As soon as the pain's not as bad, the motivation to change is gone. But if our goal is to move towards, I want my body to have real flexibility and movement, and I want to feel energized in the mornings when I wake up, getting rid of the pain is only a first step towards that. Or I want to go on an inner journey where I can really build a sense of connection to myself, to other people. I want to transform my relationships. It's different, so I just don't want to feel crap anymore. So the more we have a goal which is specific, the more we have a goal which is measurable, the more we have a goal which is achievable, that's responsible, respectful towards what we're going towards, we find ourselves setting goals in ways that we actually achieve them. Here's another tip that I found can be really helpful. Set goals towards the practices you're going to do to create change in your life, not the outcome that comes from doing those practices. Because sometimes that outcome isn't immediately under our control, but the practices are. So the practices might be your daily meditation, they might be doing your yoga practice, it might be doing your journaling, whatever it may be. Those are things that you know you can commit to. The changes that come from doing that may well be a byproduct, but if they are your goals, sometimes they may not come to fruition in the way that you hope, and then you feel like you failed even though you did the bit that you committed to. Commitment is like a muscle. Discipline is like a muscle. The more that we train ourselves to be disciplined, to follow through, whilst being in harmony and balance with our lives. I don't mean going into a toxic, unhealthy achiever pattern where you just force yourself and ignore what your body is telling you. The more that we cultivate discipline to do things that feel challenging but are in our best interest, that muscle grows. We become more consistent and more skillful at doing that. So dare to dream. Set goals, but set them smart.